Hello and welcome to episode 496 of the Daily Sales Message podcast, where every single day I share a piece of simple and actionable advice that's designed to help you feel more confident and sell more stuff too. Now, if you're new around here, my name is James Newell and I teach people how to sell for a living. And for me, that comes in two very distinct components. It starts with having what I call a clear sales message. People have got to understand what you're trying to sell to them. And secondly, you need selling confidence, the ability to be relaxed and comfortable and confident in a selling situation. Now, in today's episode, we're talking about these tactics won't help you sell more. Things you need to avoid doing. And trust me, there's about 30 or 40 core things that you should definitely avoid doing. It's going to cost you the sale. But we'll cover a couple of them here. The first one is being too pushy, believing that you have to push or convince or cajole your buyer into buying from you. It's a big no-no. The moment your buyer feels like they're not in control or they aren't actually in control, they're not going to like it, and they're either going to eject out of the sales process, or if they do buy, they're going to get buyer's remorse and they're going to feel kind of bamboozled. They're not going to be happy. So the first thing is, don't feel like you need to push, convince, or cajole anybody doing anything. That is literally not how selling works. Your buyer has to be in control and feel in control at all times for things to move forward. The second one is being too critical. You will very likely solve a problem with your product or service. And what you mustn't do is describe the problem that you solve in a way that offends the buyer. You mustn't do that. And I've had this before on LinkedIn in particular, where people have approached me and said, hey, we work with busy professionals like you who struggle to control their weight, blah, blah. I'm like, whoa. What do you mean struggle to control? So you've looked at my LinkedIn profile, thought I'm a little bit podgy, which I am. It's fine. But you've done that and then you're messaging me accordingly. For me, it's too direct. You've got to be very careful. What you need to do is frame the challenge that somebody's facing as though it's somebody else's fault. It's not their fault. Just for this instance, it's not their fault, it's somebody else's. That way you're not going to offend them. If you're too direct, and if you come across as kind of insulting them or being very critical of them, it's not going to bode well for anybody. So that's the second one. The third and the final one is the valueless follow-up. Just checking in, just touching base, just bumping this to the top of your inbox, James. Have you had any thoughts? Have you had any questions? Blah, blah, blah. Most follow-ups are completely worthless. You're essentially just looking for different ways of saying, can I have your money yet? Can I have your money yet? That's it. If you don't have anything constructive to say, don't do it. There's proper ways of following people up that are constructive and meaningful and work really, really well. But touching base, checking in, have you got any questions, blah, blah, blah. It just serves to annoy people, particularly just bumping this to the top of your inbox. Well, I didn't respond because I'm not interested. So you bumping it doesn't really make any difference to me, apart from it just annoys me. So those are three, telling off episode, isn't it? Those are three simple things that you should avoid doing. If you don't want to lose the sale, there's quite a few more things that you need to avoid doing, but those are a couple of the main ones. For me, the main principle when it comes to sales and selling is your buyer needs to be respected and they need to feel in control at all times of their decision with no pressure from you. They need to be asking to buy rather than you trying to sell to them. And I know that sounds like a perfect world theory thing, but if that's what you strive for in your communications, life is a lot easier. Trust me. Right, that's it for this episode of the podcast. Tomorrow in episode 497, if you have brand guidelines, you should probably consider this also. If you've got brand guidelines, you should probably consider this also. I'll explain more about that in tomorrow's episode. In the meantime, thank you for listening or watching all the way to the end. I do appreciate it. I'll catch you tomorrow for another exciting edition of the Daily Sales Message.